This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Well, good morning and welcome to the Grow Omaha Show. Glad that you have joined us today. I'm Jeff Beals, your co-host from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate Company. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing. At any rate, this is the only show you're ever going to find that talks about the growth and development of the metro area. Loaded docket as always, but without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, the legendary real estate deal-making machine himself, live and in person, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jeff Beals.
What a great week it has been.
We'll take the weather.
I know, it's nice fall weather. We're getting close to the holidays. So many things are happening in our town. Hey, I did something kind of fun. I want to give a shout out to the Nebraska Wesleyan baseball team in Lincoln.
Okay.
So Todd and Holly Schneidewin. Todd works with us at MP Dodge. Holly is the president of Eagle Mortgage, one of our big sponsors.
Yep.
They have a son who plays baseball for Wesleyan, and they invited my wife Stephanie and me to a fundraiser yesterday at Topgolf. Great time and great weather to be out at Topgolf. Trent and I actually swung the club.
I've done that already.
It was
too.
ugly. Because I don't golf. You don't golf either.
You gotta keep the arm straight.
Yeah. Apparently I need to take a few lessons.
I actually connected with the ball. I was very surprised and proud of myself for hitting a few.
I actually won one of the games. Total beginner's luck, but let's just say thank God they don't have a big screen in which they put, live performances from some of the
or something.
Oh,
or player,
for the love of God.
Player cam.
It was embarrassing. I could just see on the big screen, here's Jeff Beals from Grow Omaha. That would have been unpleasant. But anyway, out of that,
fun.
It was a lot of fun. So, big weekend plans, Trenton?
Absolutely. And this is going to be an interesting Nebraska game, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know. I can't even watch them anymore. It's so hard to watch that stuff, and the fumbling and the stumbling.
You got to root for the mighty Huskers.
At any rate, let's go into a little piece of advice that we like to give you during the first part of the show, and that's get your Fast Cash app. If you think about the best, most dominant shopping property in the state of Nebraska, it's obviously Nebraska Crossing, because there are so many retailers that only appear once in the entire state of Nebraska at Nebraska Crossing. And so you definitely want to go there. You definitely want to shop. Great place for Saturdays, after the show is over, what have you. But when you're there, get your Fast Cash app. If you want to do that, have the Nebraska Crossing app, then you click Fast Cash on it. You hook up a credit card, then always use that credit card whenever you buy anything at any of the 70 retailers there. And if you do, you get 15% cash back that you can use at any of the Nebraska Crossing retailers. Trenton, it's like free money.
Absolutely. And apparently the holiday season has already started because you're starting to see people put up outdoor decorations. Maybe, hopefully just because of the weather and they haven't turned them on yet. But it's pretty early, ladies and gentlemen. You
are correct. I have noticed that. In fact, both of my kids, they're teenagers, they went to little parties on Halloween, and I picked them up at about 9:30 or 10 o'clock. It was a school night. We can't stay out too late, right? So I picked them up, and I was going to one of the houses where one of the kids was, and Christmas outside decoration. I think basically what they did, as soon as the last kid came by trick-or-treating, I know we always close around 8 or 8:30. I think they're like, shut it down, flip the switch, Christmas lights on.
Can't have that void. Can't have that 1 week break.
Well, let's talk about our news of the week. It's brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Physically, they're located at 114th and Davenport, but whether you talk with them online or in person, I can tell you this, they'll help you with conventional FHA or VA loans. Housing market still very robust right now. We are talking to I have one of my sisters is moving into a new house in the next week or two.
Signs are up. People are moving.
It is not slowing down for the holidays. So folks, keep going. If you want to get a new house, just go. Start. Don't wait till March. You can do it right now and get that pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. All right, we've got some fun stuff we're going to talk about first here, Trenton Magid. Livability.com has come out with its top 100 best places to live in 2021, and our favorite city, Omaha, came in number 13 on the list. And it's always kind of fun to see who else is on the list. So here's the top 5 in order. Madison, Wisconsin, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Overland Park, Kansas, Frederick, Maryland, and Charlottesville, Virginia.
Who would have thought?
Some other cities that are in our region. Number 9, Colorado Springs. Number 18, Lincoln. Number 20, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Number 36, Aurora, Colorado. 40, Columbia, Missouri. 42, Fort Collins, Colorado. 58, Iowa City. Ames, Iowa was 64. Fargo, North Dakota came in at 74. Let's see here. Des Moines, Iowa, number 93. Lawrence.
So we're faring pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of college towns, though. You've noticed that a lot of college towns. There were some big cities on there. I saw Tampa, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
Because they need all that restaurant help, and they need all those college students to be employed.
Well, let me tell you what the criteria were, and that might give you a little bit of an idea about how this all works out. Let's see here. Okay, I'm losing my spot on the screen, but while we're waiting for that to come up, oh, there it is. Never mind. Okay. So here are the criteria that determined, and it's not showing us right now. But anyway, it said livability explores what makes medium-sized and small cities great places to live. Although, like I said, like Tampa, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati are on there, so it wasn't really too small. And they looked at community amenities, education, sustainability, transportation, housing, and the economy. They then leveraged their expertise to develop city rankings on a variety of topics, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so we did very well with that. And
we'll take it.
We will. So another story that was, I thought, kind of interesting this week, Streck Laboratories, which is a nice, long-standing Omaha company. Headquarters in La Vista. And they employ about 400 people. Trenton, they are going to build their own apartment complex.
Yeah, about 80, was it 81 units or 80?
Yeah, about 84.
84 units, and this is over at the Harrison Hills development. It's an industrial park, but they bought 25 acres of land a couple of years ago. They built a nice new, I call it their second campus, and I've done a lot of work over there, 118th and Harrison, let's call it. And they're going to call it workforce development, and have apartments that they can, I don't know if they're opening it up to outside people, or is it just their employees?
They're going to open up to outside people if they can't fill it with their own people. And so the priority is going to be for Streck employees. But, 84 apartments, if they don't take up all of it, you got to fill it up with someone.
True.
And this is a workforce play right here, recruitment and retention. We have talked at length over the years, but especially in the last 18 months, about a critical labor shortage.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those solutions to provide affordable housing to your employees, and some of them will take them up on it.
Unemployment in Omaha is down to 1.7%, which is almost unfathomable. It is so low. And so you're going to see, I believe, more and more of this. Streck might be the first to do this. I can't think of any other company that does this in town, but it's been done in a lot of other cities. You see stuff like this in the Silicon Valley areas where it's so expensive and you have to get
resort communities in Colorado, ski areas and stuff like that to get, just to cut those commutes for some of those employees that can't afford to live in Aspen and Vail and places like that.
I mean, I think about that. If you're a service worker, waiting tables or bussing tables in Vail or Aspen, you can't afford to live anywhere near that place unless you get some sort of special
deal. This will be an interesting exercise.
Well, we always like to give you a little bit of national real estate news, courtesy of our friends at CoStar. And this week we have information about restaurants. Girl Omaha listeners will love restaurants, but Cheesecake Factory has cooked up a plan to open 20 new restaurants in the coming year worldwide. And so they're targeting 7% annual location growth. And this would follow 14 restaurants that the California-based Cheesecake Factory has opened so far this year. Now, not all of them are called Cheesecake Factory. They have a few other brands.
They have the high-end one called Grand Lux. Remember that?
I've been to that one in Chicago.
Yeah, and these are not small restaurants, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the few restaurants that has advertising in their menu. So you can imagine, just to get through the menu, it's a course.
Yeah, their menu's part catalog, part magazine. But a couple of the other concepts that they have, North Italia and Flower Child, we do not have those in Omaha. They're going to open those. But anyway, I thought that's a good sign, because during the pandemic, you would hear things about, national restaurant chains are having such a tough time and we're worried about so many of them going out of business. And a lot of the local foodies would probably say, so that's great, let's go local. But you got to have your national chains too.
But I'll tell you, when you bring it local a little bit, I've got a regional restaurant that's looking for 4,000 to 7,000 square feet that wants existing restaurant space. So if you own a...
Who is it?
I can't tell you. If you own a restaurant...
What's it start with?
What does it rhyme with? If you have a restaurant, an over restaurant that maybe wants to get out, or an existing restaurant space, call it 4,000 to 8,000 square feet, I want to hear from you.
And then, as part of the Terminal Entrance Roadway Expansion Project, a temporary entrance from Abbott Drive to the Eppley International Airport Terminal will open on November 9th. So that's just a few days from now. What is that, Tuesday? I think it is. This temporary entrance is south of the old entrance and will remain in use until the permanent new entrance is open next summer. So I drove by Eppley yesterday during my Gromaha tour, partly because I got this press release, and I wanted to see, okay, are they getting it set up?
They do a good job of informing people and directional signs.
They do, but wow. I mean, there is some serious construction activity, and they're working on a ramp, like of a bridge that will take people straight up to the second or third floor of the south parking garage.
That's pretty slick.
For Express. So
I know you're a fan of the North Tower.
Oh, north parking garage is the only way to go.
North parking, yeah.
But you know what? I'm not happy about this, because right now, I noticed this when I took a flight a couple weeks ago, driving north on Abbott Drive, and there's a sign that said, South Parking Garage Renovation, use North Garage. I'm like, no, I don't want all those people in my garage. Because I'm used to, ever since the North opened, I always have the same spot. I have the same spot, so I don't have to remember where I parked. Well, there was someone in my spot. So I'll have to have a little chat with the airport authority. All right, that's your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. And when we come back, we're going to do one of those company spotlights. Trenton has a few guests here, and we're going to tell you about a company that's doing great things in Omaha. But in the meantime, you're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge. We'll be back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Hi, this is Eric with D&M Roofing.
So I'll just do the opening and mention the D&M roofing spot, and then I'll just point to you, and you're on. And hopefully,
ready?
Yeah. With services like our
hopefully he doesn't throw you any unreasonable questions.
That's funny. So my brother's building a brewery, and the amount of people that have tried to sublet it since it's almost done,
Right.
it's not. We want to open a brewery, which
Here in Omaha?
yeah, it's down Little Bohemia.
Okay.
And it's funny, so many people are looking for just to like take over spots.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? When do you think about opening?
Permitting, it just got through framing permit, so now they drywall, but permitting for a brewery in Omaha is a task.
I imagine.
Because of all the plumbing laws, the restrictions for...
The money that goes into the...
We had to move all of the framing a quarter of an inch from the wall.
Is not covered by your
Quarter of an inch. Redo it?
Things
Yeah.
like
There's all
hearing
steel
aids,
framing.
dentures, prescription
Quarter of an
glasses,
inch.
Yeah.
copays, and more. It's
Where is it
free,
located?
and it's
Little
just
Bohemia.
one of the ways
Oh,
we're
that'd be
taking
good.
care of
Hey,
our members.
Him when he's ready to let us know, because we'll put it in our newsletter, we'll say it on the show,
Okay.
and it's not like we're doing him a favor. We need the content. So, so yeah, we give him a lot of publicity, and we'd love to have that content.
Yeah.
And if you could tell us before the World Herald, we'd like it even more.
Our DSMP plans have a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract.
Did you know that you
Is
might
that
be
this weekend?
overpaying?
Jamie Jones.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
There's an easy,
Tomorrow,
convenient
isn't it?
solution.
2
Check
o'clock.
GoodRx.
What are we looking at?
GoodRx lets you compare prices at different pharmacies and shows you where to get the lowest price. Here's Joe, a doctor and GoodRx
Time to go
customer.
work in the dark and come home in
I
the dark.
hate standard time.
GoodRx is helping.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't want the kids to go to, little kids to go to school in the dark,
GoodRx is not insurance.
so I get that. But other than that, I wish we kept daylight savings all year long. I like to have the light at night, not in the morning.
What
I wanna-
confuses me is like how Arizona just flips. They don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah, they just ignore it. I think part of it is where they are in their, like, because Indiana does the same thing too, don't they? And
They're around Chicago.
They're both, what's that?
Only around Chicago.
Okay. They're both,
No, wait. The counties around Chicago do change. The rest of the state didn't, although I think they changed that.
Okay, and I think, but you notice both of those are kind of close to a time zone.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that was, if you're close to a time zone, if that was one of the reasons. But although Arizona's so big, one side is in a different galaxy than the other.
And Hawaii doesn't, because who cares?
Yeah, no one cares because no one goes to work there anyway.
Well, and it's nice year round.
You're nice year round. You're just up when it's sunny.
I remember in
And you're drinking or sleeping when it's not.
in '74 we didn't go to standard time. We stayed daylight savings
Oh, it's
time
because of the
year
energy
round.
crisis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were going to school at 9 in the morning and it was still dark.
Bring it on.
Coming up.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. News Radio 1110 KFAB and KFAB.com and other radio stations.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot at your service. We're brought to you by NAI, NP Dodge, and D&M Roofing. You guys who listen regularly know Eric Obrumt, the owner of D&M Roofing, does such a great job taking care of their clients. And a lot of times he talks to us about construction-related issues here on Grow Omaha. But we highly recommend them. If you're thinking about getting a roof replaced, commercial or residential, call them. If you control or own a commercial building, definitely call them because you cannot beat their preventative maintenance program. dndmroofing.com.
Well, as Jeff said, we like to highlight local businesses, and we got some friends of ours in the studio, Damon Gray and Eric Brulette. Welcome, ladies and
Good morning.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
gentlemen.
That's
ladies
my
and
lady right there.
Absolutely. Well, there's a company that I like to use, and we've seen the expansion of all these quick washes, these express washes that we've talked about in our newsletter and everything else we'll talk about later in the show. But Damon, you started a company called Owner's Pride in 2015. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Owner's Pride, we started in 2015. The idea was to literally highlight the idea of the customer is more important than just a car. And it's a detail shop that we always wanted to have to take our cars to. And that was the whole idea behind it. It didn't matter if it was a Mazda, Maserati, Ford, or Ferrari. If that car is important to you, it's important to us.
And anymore, cars are so hard to get, and whether it's a new car or a used car. And you guys are located over in Millard.
Yep, right up 136.
And how many employees do you have now?
Owner's Pride itself, they're the detail shop. We have 6.
Okay. And what type of services? It's more than just a hand wash as opposed to these membership services and things like that. You have all kinds of different offerings at Owner's Pride.
Yeah, we do. We have the hand wash service. We also have your normal detail service. One of our specialties is ceramic coatings. We designed and developed a ceramic coating that was pretty much for the Nebraska weather. I mean, we all know how our weather is in wintertime. You get the sodium chloride, magnesium chloride. Some counties still even use some beet juice on the roads. The unique
dreaded beet juice.
Exactly. The
There's
unique
some health aspects to it, though.
The unique thing about ceramic coating is, unlike wax, it doesn't melt. Definitely highly chemically resistant, and really the only way to take it off is by abrasion.
Yeah, and I've had a couple of my cars done at Owner's Pride, the ceramic coating. And Eric Brulette, how did you get involved with Owner's Pride?
Actually, it's completely by chance. Damon and I met at my brother's ex-wife's going away party and kind of realized we knew a lot of the same people. We were in the same space, and our relationship grew from there. And then really when they wanted to develop ceramic coating, I liked that aspect of it, the chemical side of it, and all of the development side. And that's really where we grew our focus and really took the company into a national chemical sales side of it.
Okay, and so what you're talking about is a sister company, if you will, Custom Dealer Solutions, where you've got some other partners as well, and Damon's involved. And tell us about Custom Dealer Solutions.
Yeah, so Custom Dealer Solutions really came about. I was working in the car dealership world and realized that there was a need for detail training and chemicals within those spaces. And my partner in that is Lowell Sisson. He kind of came out of retirement for a second career. Not really sure if he would do that again. But for me, it's awesome to have that support there and experience. But we go into the dealerships, detail shops, and really train their new employees how to do it, because so far in this world, it's been trial by fire in most spaces for detail shops, and it's really setting a lot of the people up to fail. So we want to change that.
And what's unique about Custom Dealer Solutions is that you source everything in the U.S.
Yep.
Right.
Both companies. We have all chemical development, all raw materials, all sourced in the United States, and then produced in the United States.
And in the day of COVID and supply chain issues, is that a competitive advantage?
I would say massively for us. We've never had backstock or have to wait on chemicals. A lot of our competitors, especially in the owner's pride space, haven't been able to get their coatings in because they're making them in Korea or China, bringing them over. So they're all sold out, and we've seen a lot of new growth from that.
How so what? Give us an idea, Damon, of Owner's Pride. Where do you want to take Owner's Pride, say, in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, the really unique thing about Owner's Pride is, we're a chemical company, but we're also a chemical company with a detail shop. So it's almost like our own lab here in Omaha. But in saying all that, we have over just about 400 installers across the U.S., Owner's Pride certified installers. We are shipping to Canada, Mexico, India, and we want to continue to grow that. That's really what we're really shooting for. To be able to offer, like what Eric was saying, ceramic coatings that are produced here in the U.S. Is a huge advantage.
So the name Owner's Pride is a great name. Is that the name you use in all the products that you ship out?
Yeah, or we just simply have the OP and then Owner's Pride underneath.
Owner's Pride reminds me of the old Ocean Pacific brand. But
everyone loved those T-shirts.
Absolutely. Overpriced, we called it. But so that's interesting. And so, Eric, what are there any other spin-off type companies that you're looking at doing with Owner's Pride? Or with Custom Dealer Solutions?
Owner's Pride, the idea of franchising it is out there and growing that. And then Custom Dealer Solutions, we're going into distribution in different networks in different areas and shipping it. So a lot of guys will sell stuff off their van into a different dealership, and we want to really grow that warehouse side of it to take away that overhead from those customers and ship it directly to their customer.
Is there any training that goes along with your products?
We do. We have training quarterly. We have people that come in all around from the U.S. The other training is we do business training. A lot of these detailers don't quite grasp how to really get the most out of social media. There's so many different avenues and there's so many different ways to do it, and what works in their market. So we talk to them about it. We talk to them about using a POS system, CRMs, and how to capture your customers' information and to be able to use that for marketing.
So people locally, people that are listening to this show, and we've got a pretty wide audience, can they use your products at home as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're located where?
We're located on 136 Millard Avenue.
Okay.
And if you go to ownerspride.com, we have an entire shop of all of our products.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you guys want to add, or anything that you want people to know about the company?
You?
Come on by.
Yeah. No, please stop on by. I guarantee you it's not just about the car, it's about the customer service.
So Owner's Pride, ladies and gentlemen, check out ownerspride.com. That's Damon Gray and Eric Brulette of Owner's Pride, and give them a chance and check out their services and their products.
Well, I appreciate you guys joining us today, and thank you for your commitment to the Omaha business community. I'm still trying to process what that brother's ex-wife's going away party was like. I can only imagine that was interesting.
Your brother will be so proud you brought that up.
We're next door neighbors, so it's difficult.
She had to send her off. Yeah. At any rate, guys, appreciate you joining us. We're going to take our middle of the show break and do our half-hour news. And then when we come back, we have our commercial real estate development spotlight brought to you by Noddle Companies, in which we'll talk about a new business located along the riverfront in Council Bluffs. All of that and more. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magadon, Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Your movie nights just got better.
Your sales are going to
Cinema
go.
20 Plus is now
Hey, we've in September we did 52 coatings. October 44.
Wow.
The entire month of November is completely booked, and that's 4 guys in the back.
Yeah, it's hard to get in there now, isn't it?
It is, but we try to make it. If you can't get in,
Still interesting.
hey,
I
we're
had
gonna
lunch
go ahead and give you a free
yesterday.
windshield coating, or do
Someplace I
something
hadn't
to
been
try to
in
offset
25
that.
years.
Sad.
Yeah.
Cashew.
Every once in a while I get in the mood for that place.
We go
And-
to
It was good, but it hasn't changed in 25 years.
No. I probably, God honest, I probably go there once or twice every year.
Really?
Yeah.
Photographer that
Yeah, Todd Ashbrook.
It's a decent crowd.
that
I
calendar
mean, it
was
was
unbelievable.
it's
Look
a
at the
big
calendar.
dining room.
Logan put
Oh
that-
yeah,
this
I've always wondered
Logan Todd.
how they do with that huge space.
Yeah.
My
I'd
parents
say
go there
it's
quite a
the
bit.
cake they had.
Oh yeah.
But a half full.
So you guys do every Saturday or?
Don't you remember back when we were kids and you would go there?
We never went.
Oh, see, it was one of our places where we would go out for like, the nice big dinner out on a Saturday.
Right.
And
I get
in
a
those
chance to listen
days,
once in a while in the mornings.
you
was the podcast.
waited, like, you stood around and waited for a table.
Was this before or after it burned?
I heard you on the radio.
After, yeah. No, I don't know, I'm sure it was that way even before it burned too,
Yeah,
but.
I did. I
That's pretty
never
good
saw it
stuff.
before it burned.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I
I
appreciate
think
the
that was
opportunity. It was great.
78.
Yeah, I say I was,
December
I
78.
would have only been 9 in 78, so I
You
don't
guys
remember
know
that as well,
where
but,
you-
but I do know, we would go there sometimes and we would just wait.
Thank you,
Nice to
Jim.
meet you.
Have a good
Let
weekend.
your, thank you,
Pleasure.
nice to meet you. Let your
I'll
brother
tell my
know
brother. I'll
that
text her.
we will get him
Yeah.
some publicity, but we love that kind of news.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll bring
Okay.
beer. You have to try it, but it'll be like
Yeah.
8 in the morning.
What's it called?
Lumen Beer Company.
Lumen?
Yeah, we'll have him. Yeah, if he brings us beer, we'll talk even more favorably about him.
Especially after you had the
Yeah. Remember one time there was a mead place that opened
Yeah,
in Old
meadery.
Town Bellevue?
Yeah.
Remember that? And they came in
They
here.
didn't make it?
I don't think they're still around, but they were around for a couple
I
few
remember
years.
that. We interviewed that guy.
And he brought mead, and we drank it. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was very sweet, but it was so good. I'm like drinking it, and by the end of the show,
You
I
were
was
old.
having a hard time staying. It's kind of hard for me to stay sharp
We
sometimes.
took
sober.
alcohol gifts.
By the end of the show, though, I was kind of feeling it a little bit, and I was, is this like an FCC violation? Is it? Are you allowed to be intoxicated on the air, or is that a violation?
Yeah, well, everyone's always said that you're not.
Uh-huh.
But we all know that it's happened.
I mean, I wasn't intoxicated,
Right.
but I was starting to kind of feel it a little bit. That stuff was good. It was like drinking dessert.
I never tried meat. I wish I-
Raj said that he took a blast from the past.
Yeah, I
and
told him.
cashews.
Yeah, I've been there.
I usually find myself there about once or twice a year. I love the place. Now it's huge. I mean, you get a huge.
You get a good lunch.
You have to go hungry.
How was Sons of Italy? Couple weeks ago.
Very good. Yeah, very good. They do a Friday night thing.
Where's this?
Sons of Italy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they do a Friday night. Everyone knows the Thursday lunch.
Right.
Their Friday night is even better because it's not as crowded.
Right.
And we went there. They had spaghetti and meatballs, or was it mascacholi and meatballs? But that's one of the best red sauces you'll ever find.
Yeah, I haven't had it in a long time, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was that was good. My mom and dad, the 4 of us, one of my sisters and her family were there, and it was just a good. Oh, and her parents were there, so or her in-laws were there, so it was fun. We had a nice big group.
Jill's parents? Or?
Casey's in-laws. Yeah, they live in Omaha. In fact, her father-in-law is originally a South Omaha Italian guy, so he loves Sons of Italy. But no, that place does not disappoint. And the new construction, I think, is way better.
Yeah.
Because the old one was kind of low ceiling,
Right.
kind of tired looking. This new one is much nicer.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm
High
sure
ceiling.
they took advantage of the, I don't want to say opportunity of the fire, but they took advantage to do some things they probably,
Phoenixes rise from the ashes,
that's
right?
right.
And
I know they had a hell of a
It's amazing how
time.
many
getting done.
buildings
and disruption sometimes is
shopping
good.
centers like Rivieras and fires that we've seen in the city.
And they don't
Brother
come,
Sebastian, where that went.
you don't come back fast from them usually.
No, that'll wish that on anybody.
Yeah, they're kind of they can be devastating, and they take longer to come back from than people who haven't been involved in it think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as an observer, I'm like, oh, there's clean some things up, fix it up, and open in a couple months.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Well, it's kind of like Three Happiness when they had their fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, well, you know, we have to get it back open in a couple
Did
months.
they change it to Four Happiness?
No. No, but still, I mean, they don't have any seating inside.
Really? Yeah.
They build it so that at some point, if they want to, but the money they make on carry out at that place.
Well, yeah, that's unfortunate when people they start saying, "Oh, well, we can't get employees, so we're just going to do takeout."
Well, it didn't matter. I ate in there, and of course now after the fire, it's nicer than it was, but it was a little more than the cafeteria type ambiance.
I remember I used to go there in the 90s when I worked at 42nd, Three Happiness, on Leavenworth.
50th and Leavenworth, 51st.
When I worked at 42nd and Dodge, we used to go there for lunch, and I remember it was popular in the 90s.
On the south side, that strip
It was a
center.
little dumpy in those days, but I'm sure the new construction's been good for them.
Well, I cleaned it up, and it gave them a little,
but it was good,
more controlled, front counter.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you walk in and the most prominent thing is the front counter, you know what they are into, and that's carry out.
They're not into you sitting around for a long time there.
Oh, they were fine if you did, and they'd fill it.
They got to be there anyway.
But and that's the same. I mean, China, something about Chinese food, and my guess is because it keeps well.
Yeah.
But like most people I know, when they get Chinese food, they just want it as carry out. Now, I almost always will choose a sit down over carry out any day, because I've never been a big fan of carry out anything, because it's never as good by the time you get it.
No, but
home.
Chinese does carry out well.
It carries out well, but it's still better when it's like hot.
We're so used to it to be at
All right,
home.
here we go.
Oh, okay.
All right, enough of the foolishness. We got a show.
Bring it.
And we're back. Grow Omaha on News Radio 1110 KFAB, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. Well, this part of the show, right in the middle after the news, is what we call the Real Estate Development Spotlight. And Noddle Companies makes it possible for us. Noddle Companies has tons of developments all over Omaha, various places in the United States, but they're headquartered here. And they're full-service commercial real estate development company. Some of their projects, we talk about Exarban Village a lot. They also have the medical campus at Village Point, the Builders District downtown, Steel Ridge in the Papillion-Gretna area. But today, we're going to talk about their development called River's Edge, which is right on the Missouri River on the Iowa side of the Bob Carey Missouri River pedestrian bridge. At any rate, new company called Trivium Life Services is a tenant in the office building there at River's Edge. They occupy the second floor. They have open workspaces with the whole, floor-to-ceiling glass. So if you're in that building, by the way, you get a killer view of downtown Omaha.
Unbelievable view.
And the Missouri River. And
the bridge.
And if you haven't been to River's Edge for a while, go drive over there and kind of look around. Park the car, walk around a little bit. They just added another residential building to the east.
A lot of public art over there too, which is really fun.
Yeah, and there's more stuff to come. So that area will just keep redeveloping. I've got a feeling that not only will downtown Omaha really pop after the 3 riverfront parks are done, River's Edge will benefit too.
No question about it. There's a lot of interaction between them.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it's weird to think that a development in the state of Iowa is affected by some parks under development in the state of Nebraska, but they're so close, and with the Missouri River pedestrian bridge there, I think those are all kind of part of it.
There's a lot more residential options over there in addition to the office.
Yeah, and that is your commercial real estate development spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. You can find out more about that firm at noddlecompanies.com or their Facebook page. Then also, Noddle Companies has Exarban Village and the Interrail. So sometimes people, if they want to keep up on that, just go to the Exarban Village or Interrail pages on Facebook. Lots of announcements there, so you can kind of keep up what's going on in that development as well. Well, Trenton mentioned this a little bit earlier during the previous segment, but in our weekly Grow Omaha newsletter, which comes out every Thursday, so this week, just a couple of days ago, we always have a section called The Big Story. And in this week's Big Story, we talked about car washes. And Trenton, people keep sending us notes at news@growomaha.com, or they'll send an email to you or me, and they're saying, why are there so many car washes?
Absolutely.
I mean, and I got to admit, doesn't it feel like when you drive around, if there's an empty corner on an intersection, there's a car wash under
Or there'll be
construction?
2 car washes on the same empty corner.
And they're not just car washes. They're nicer, upscale car washes. And one thing they all have is the membership component.
Absolutely. And I'm a big fan of Tommy's Express and the modern. If you go to 180th and Dodge right now and you go and you check out their services, you can get your floor mats cleaned year round. There's indoor floor mat cleaning, which is amazing. The size of the tunnel wash and the happy, positive people there, but the technology that they use with their license plate readers and just the quality of the wash and the affordability of it. You can, as many times as you want per month. I can understand why people are attracted to this model.
Well, you mentioned that new Tommy's car wash at 180th and Dodge. It truly just opened within the last couple weeks. I actually washed my car there on Thursday and love the modernness of it. Yeah, it's these new wave of car washes have a lot more amenities, and they're also very much into the visual experience. Like
Absolutely.
They have lighting and all sorts of windows and this sort of thing. It's not like the old gas station car wash that you would typically use.
Not at all.
So to give you an idea about some of these, okay, Trenton mentioned Tommy's Express. They've been around for about 40 years out of Michigan. They're now up to 172 locations in 30 states. They have 2 franchisees here in the metro area that are opening them like crazy. In addition to the 180th and Dodge one that Trenton just mentioned, they have other ones planned for 204th and Q. There's one under construction. Trenton did this deal at 84th and Highway 370 in Papillion. Many more to come.
132nd and I Street's been open for a long time. I think 2018.
That was their original Tommy's in town, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, then you may have noticed a few other brands. Tidal Wave Auto Spa is out of Georgia. They started with a Bellevue location. They currently have locations under construction, a couple of them along West Dodge Road at 87th and 120th Street. I know I see their signs on a couple others.
Right next to Russell Speeders, so you'll have 2 right there.
Car Wash District.
Yeah.
Then Rocket Car Wash, another national. They are planning several metro area locations. And then out of Missouri, there's a concept called Club Car Wash. They opened their first Omaha one recently at 72nd and L. They have other locations under construction at 108th and Maple and 72nd and Sorensen Parkway. Okay, so this leads us to the opening question. Why? And by the way, let me preface the question with this. This is not just an Omaha thing. When you drive to other cities or go to other cities and drive around, you see the same thing. Car wash, car wash, car wash. And there are all these membership car washes like Tommy's, where you pay one monthly fee if you'd like, and you get unlimited washes for the course of the month. So the question is, why? Why now, and why do people seem to love these things so much?
Well, I think there's a lot of convenience. I think people have pride in their vehicles, like we talked about before with our guests, that they, number one, cars are more expensive. It's harder to get cars, and people want to maintain their cars and take care of them. And this is an easy way to do it. Not just the stimulus money that's coming in everybody's accounts, it sounds like, but it's a way to feel good about cleanliness. It's a way to feel good about something that you own and that you have invested in, and the quality of the cars at Tommy's. It's just amazing the technology that's involved in it.
I think you make a good point when you say that cars are harder to come by these days, so people are compelled to take care of the car that they have.
Make them last longer.
You know, you go by a new car lot, you don't see very many cars on the lot. And with the chip shortage, the labor shortage, there's just not enough cars. And so people are thinking to themselves, if I'm going to have this car for 1, 2, or 3 years longer than I initially anticipated, I better take care of it. And then we're Americans, and the car is an extension of you. I mean, if you have a dirty car, some people think, well, does that reflect poorly on me? But get a load of this. The International Car Wash Association did a study in 2020. And at that time, there were 63,000 car wash locations in the United States. that generated a total of $11 billion a year. That number has only gone up with the explosion of membership car washes.
But the other thing, too, is it's kind of like the same thing we're seeing in the storage, self-storage industry, is that it was a very segmented industry, a lot of mom and pop facilities. Now there's a lot of roll-ups, and I have clients that I work with that do the same thing, is that you're starting to see the Tommy's Express of the world. They're basically going in and they've created a franchise model, and so you don't have there's quality, service, cleanliness, as opposed to not knowing what you're going to get, and so you're seeing a lot of these franchise models coming around.
So we're going to take our final break of the morning, and you know what comes next, the lightning round by Turner Construction. I'm looking at the list right now, and I'm seeing some pretty good stuff on here that people are going to want to know. A lot of cocktail party ammunition for those discussions this evening. So you're going to want to stay with us. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by NAI, NP Dodge, and D&M Roofing. We'll be back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
So I got retailers at Regency, a wellness center at Village Point, Floor and Decor building permit, another national car wash chain coming in.
Isn't that like 80,000 feet? What's the national?
Take 5 Car Wash. It's out of Texas. They just got a building permit, or they just collected construction bids at I-680 and Irvington Road exit.
Really?
Yeah, they're about.
Is that over at Cherry Hills on the industrial side?
They're on the east side of the freeway, over by where Jimmy John's, Burger King, Walmart, all
really?
that stuff is. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, they're going right next to Fudge. We looked at it. It's a narrow site.
For what?
It's right next to the gas station, right?
You looking at it for Tommy's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is right next. Walgreens is calling, folks. Don't they know that I'm right in the middle of the show? At least they called during the break.
Oh, your prescription's ready.
Right in the middle of the show. Walgreens calling. Come get your script.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. We need to take this.
Yeah. Excuse me, 10,000 KFB listeners. I got to take this call really quick.
10,000. We're like 12,000.
Sorry, 14,000 KFB listeners.
An order for sildenafil is ready.
Whatever you were searching for it, whether particularly on.
Yeah.
Really none of our business.
So, Deviled Egg Company, open at 181st and Q. Crumble Cookies.
I heard that's good.
Yeah, it's another one of those big cookie chains. 264 locations, 36 states. They're going to 168th and Center. In that strip there that has Penn Station subs, Clancy's, First Watch, and Taipei. By the way, Taipei there is one of my favorite Chinese restaurants in town. It's real close to your house, that 168th and Center, that strip on the east side, South Center. They're in there. It used to be a JC Mandarin.
Yes.
I like that place. All right. That was me doing that commercial.
It's the Lightning Round, brought to you by Turner Construction. The Lightning Round is where we talk about all sorts of things here on Grow Omaha. Little stuff, but important stuff. Things that you can use during conversations at your parties and cocktail receptions this evening. And we thank Turner Construction for making it possible. Do you realize Turner Construction is now the biggest construction company in the entire country? But don't let that size intimidate you, because here in the Omaha area, they do a lot of small projects too. Oh, sure. Yeah. They've got the Sarpy County Data Center. You may have heard of it. It's billions of dollars. But
You'll see their signs.
Oh, yeah. They do. You see them on doing a retail space or whatever. So they do the small projects too, the medium projects. They're very competitive. They're very responsible in the way they treat their employees and their customers and the pieces of real estate where they work. And we highly recommend Turner Construction for all of your construction needs. All right, Trenton, Floor and Decor is an 80,000 square foot retailer. And they, as the name would indicate, sell a lot of flooring, hard surface flooring. And they are going to be building a store near NFM at Rose Blumpkin Drive and Harney Street. 80,000 square foot store. The approximate start date is January 3rd. They are collecting their construction bids right now. So this is going to be pretty exciting. But get a load of this. Floor & Decor, we don't have those in Omaha yet. It's out of Atlanta, and they do have 120 locations nationwide.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is NFM has actually blessed this, and so they'll cross sell. I mean, you're gonna see complementary items.
Well, and it's on land that NFM has been using for semi-truck trailer storage.
Yeah, and I believe it's a land lease too.
So it'll really clean up that area, because that little area has always been kind of a not so visually desirable place. And so having that there, and then some lighter retail closer to Dodge, will really kind of brighten that whole area.
Consumers will really benefit from being able to shop at both stores.
Absolutely. Okay, next item on the docket. We've got a couple of new retailers going into two of Omaha's nicer shopping centers. The first one is at Village Point. It is Restore Hyper Wellness. It has opened a 2,374 square foot space at Village Point between Claire's and Bath and Body Works. Restore Hyper Wellness is the #1 provider of health and wellness services nationwide. Trent, you can even get cryotherapy and red light therapy. That sounds a little saucy.
I think I'll let you do that.
Okay, I'm going to actually go for the IV drip therapy. You can have the infrared sauna. Excellent. And then at Regency Court, 2 new tenants, Valo Wellness Spa plans to open early next year in a 4,200 square foot space next to Borsheim's and across from Williams-Sonoma. Sounds to me like the old Parso's space.
Yes, it does.
Probably. And then For the One Bridal is a designer bridal boutique that has opened already, 1,700 square feet between Love Sack and Garbo's Salon.
Welcome.
That's encouraging, because if you think about over the last few months when we talk about new retailers, other than restaurants and entertainment business, we haven't had a lot to report.
Absolutely. And these companies are competing with the internet, and there's, as you notice, there's specialty, their services or their specialty retailers where people want a high level of customer in-person service.
Well, everyone likes it when we talk about food and restaurants and all that. So here are a couple. First of all is Crumble Cookies. Crumble Cookies. This is a national chain that started in Logan, Utah, and they have 264 locations in 36 states. The closest existing locations to Omaha are in Kansas City and Sioux Falls, South Dakota. They're going to open a store in the shopping center, the strip center at 168th and Center, southeast corner, the one that has Penn Station subs, Clancy's, First Watch, and Taipei.
Oh, close to home.
Yeah, it's close to where both you and I live, especially you.
Absolutely.
And so welcome Crumble Cookies to the Omaha marketplace. And then the Deviled Egg Company, which has been selling eggs. I've tried it like a year or two ago at a kiosk in the Westroads Mall, but now they have a permanent location at 18111 Q Street. So basically southwest of 180th and Q. And they sell deviled eggs. They're pretty good.
I'm sure there's more than one kind.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we call a specialty retailer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right there.
Hard to get those online. Well, you probably could, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure someone will figure it out, pack them in dry ice or whatever. So, Trenton, couple little restaurant things, because we like to talk about restaurants. I know it's been open for a long time, and I believe you did the deal. But this week I tried Curry in a Hurry. Didn't you do that real estate deal?
Yeah, over on Maple.
Yeah. You know what? That's a pretty good place.
No, that was good, and it's very affordable.
It's quick serve Indian food. I love Indian food, and it's nice to have quick serve. Then I was down in the old market, and I noticed, where the Indian oven used to be, there's another Indian concept. I've not tried that yet.
I have not either.
I'll have to get down and give that a try. All right, then have you been to Wahlburgers yet since they opened?
No.
Okay, I did it, and I had
which Hy-Vee?
The Stony Brook Hy-Vee.
Okay.
144th and Stony Brook. And I had never, despite all my travels, I had never tried a Wahlburgers in any other city. So it was my first time. I'm okay. Okay, I was not blown away. Like, we don't have Shake Shack here yet. I think those burgers are better.
You know what I've been thinking about lately is, have you been to Popeyes and to get the spicy chicken sandwich yet?
I have had it. But I got to tell you, when I go to Popeyes, it's very difficult for me not just to get the 3-piece good old fried chicken with a side of red beans and rice.
Yeah, I hear you.
What do you call the onion rings?
RB&R and onion loops.
Onion loops. I like the onion loops.
I heard him say that in New Orleans. So
a lot of people know, but some don't, that you spent 4 years in New Orleans.
Absolutely. My cholesterol's down since then, by the way.
Hey, are you going to come with me to New Orleans this winter? Are you going to the New Orleans convention for NAI Global?
We'll talk about it.
Okay. Well, we have a convention for NAI Global in New Orleans. I'm going to be doing some leadership training for heads of real estate companies from all over the world.
Jeff and I love New Orleans, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to be there for like 3 or 4 nights. I think you should come down.
Yeah.
And we should go to...
If not, I'll go to the Mouth of the South a couple times while you're there.
If you do go to New Orleans, though, I have two words for you. Charbroiled. Is that one word? Charbroiled? Charbroiled
Hyphenated, probably.
Oysters. Charbroiled oysters in New Orleans are better than anywhere else.
That sounds good.
Okay, so what types of restaurants besides the 2 that I just mentioned should we okay, later this weekend I am going to try the Committee Chop House for the first time.
You have not been there? Oh, I've been there 4 or 5 times.
I know. That's like when your reaction right there is when you say you haven't watched a movie, and anyone else who has seen that movie is like, you haven't seen that movie? So that's kind of the reaction I got for the Committee Chop House.
Let me know what you think. We'll let the people know.
Okay. You've been there, what, more than once?
Oh, probably 4 times.
And Amy, your significant other and better half, is over there behind the camera. She's agreeing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what should I order? Steak.
There you go. Absolutely. But they got good seafood. They got good steak. And it's definitely the place to go.
And see, this is the only place where you can get cutting-edge restaurant news on the radio like this, folks. So the music is playing, which means that we have to shut up. But we hope you have a great weekend and an even better week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggot.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing, NAINP Dodge, and the Lightning Round by Turner Construction. We'll chat with you next week at 9, right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
We're done!
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.